Here are 10 things that you must remember when you are doing shopping, whether that's in a shop, online, for Christmas, or any other time of the year. So welcome back, I'm the Black Belt Barrister, helping you to understand law, and in this video sharing with you some must remember consumer tips. Let's get started. Number one, if you're given a voucher as a gift, make sure you spend it quickly, because if the company goes into administration, then they are not obliged to honor the value of that gift card, although some of the administrators do change their mind later. If the company goes into administration, which has happened a lot lately, you need to make sure you spend that voucher as quickly as you can to make sure you don't miss out on the value. Number two, if you've bought something and it's wrong, doesn't fit, or anything like that, you should take it back as quickly as possible, because the longer you leave it, the more likely the company is likely to say that you cannot return it if it's gone beyond their standard return date. Most shops will give you a return window, probably 30 days, but make sure you check that beforehand and make sure you get it back to the shop as soon as you know you want to return it. Number three, you cannot always exchange something just because it's the wrong size. This is particularly prevalent with clothing. If the clothing doesn't fit, unless you agree to this beforehand, if they say that you can return it, if it doesn't fit, that will become a term of the contract, but you'll need to have some kind of note just to show that this is what you've agreed. Otherwise, they might get funny and difficult about you returning it just because it's the wrong size. And it goes without saying that not liking something or not being comfortable or something like this is not a standard reason to return something. Just because you don't like something doesn't mean you can return it. It would have to be faulty or something else wrong with it that would give you the right to return it under the short-term right to reject within 30 days. Number four, if you're buying something as a gift, then you should write on that receipt that it is a gift, because the legal position is only the person that paid for the item has the right to return it, and the shop can refuse to have it returned by anybody else. But if you write on the receipt that it is a gift for somebody, then that will transfer the right to that item to that other person, giving them a legal right to return it if they so wish. If the shop is difficult about that, then the shop is in the wrong, because the legal rights to that product will have been transferred to whomever you gave the gift to. Number five is to make sure that the thing that you buy is actually suitable for the purpose that you want it for. And if you are not sure, then you must ask the shop assistant whether it is suitable for what you're buying it for. Typical example is if something is not suitable for the TV that you have at home. If you ask the shop assistant and they confirm to you that yes, it will be suitable for that purpose, that will become a term of the contract and enforceable under the Consumer Rights Act, which means if it isn't suitable for that product when you get it back, that is a reason you can reject it, because you have a right to uphold the terms of the contract. And that will include any pre-sale conclusions that the sales assistant has given you as to whether this is suitable for your product or not. Number six is about proof of purchase. Many shops will say you cannot return it without the receipt. And this is actually not true. You only need to have proof of purchase. This could be way of a bank statement to show that you purchased in store at that time on that date. I know the bank statement is not likely to detail each and every item, but it would be proof of purchase, and on the balance of probabilities, if you ended up in court, if it got that far, the court is likely to conclude that you did buy this item from that store at that time because you have a bank statement to show that you spent money in the shop on that day. Number seven is something that irritates me and irritates lots of other people. This is when companies try to divert you back to the manufacturer. Now, there is a good reason for this. That's because the manufacturer will usually be better placed to repair items and perhaps even replace items or deal with them under some kind of warranty that's offered by the manufacturer. But none of that is absolutely strictly necessary. Your contract is with the store or wherever you bought the thing. So you have a contract with a certain party, which is the company that sold you the goods, and that is the company that needs to deal with it, not the manufacturer. So if you don't want to go around in circles looking for the manufacturer, you don't have to. Next, we've had lots of questions about eBay as to what your rights are when you're buying something through eBay. Now, the important thing here is the status of the party with whom you are dealing and from whom you are buying. If it is just an ad hoc private seller selling off their own things and their old stuff, then they are not a trader for the purposes of consumer rights law. However, if they are a trader, and that means even buying 2 or 3 of an item and selling it for profit, even if it isn't a well-established store, they are still a trader and there are still rights that you can uphold even though you've bought it from eBay. So don't think eBay is any different than buying from any other kind of website. And finally, a tip that I know most of you already know, but please do buy things with your credit card. That's because any purchase over £100 and all the way up to £30,000 that's bought on credit, you could make what is known as a Section 75 claim under the Consumer Credit Act, which makes the credit provider jointly and severally liable to that purchase. So in other words, if it goes wrong, you have a claim not only against the trader that sold it to you, but also against the credit provider. And in many instances, not all, but many instances, the credit provider is going to think that it's easier, quicker, and cheaper just to refund you the money, and they will take it up with the trader, than to go all the way to court and fight for it. But expect this to be a little bit more difficult when the item is more expensive. So I hope you found these tips useful. Happy shopping. Be careful out there. Give this video a thumbs up if you like this sort of information. Share it with someone that you know would find any of these useful. And as always, thank you for watching.